Alright, so sneak peek number 4 for the June update is here, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but apparently Tier 4 is a real thing. So as you can see right here via the message we got from CM Fragment a few minutes ago, it reads, "Greetings agents, this is CM Fragment of Marvel Future Fight. The next stage of power soon comes to Marvel Future Fight. A new upgrade system," and then we get this trailer right here. Now, in case you somehow missed that, I'm gonna break down exactly what's going on right here, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Netmarble CEO in the back room where they count all the millions that they be making, looking at a video of Iron Man's Tier 3 advancement animation before walking down a hallway. And then, while walking down this hallway, there is advancement on the wall, but it keeps flickering on and off. The 4 here signifies that Iron Man is going to be Tier 4. So all the speculating that we've been doing for the past couple days, it's real life. This is confirmation of that in word form and video form. I don't know why they're doing it. Well, I know why. Profit. Let's talk about it. In terms of where the game is right now, they're probably not making as much money as they used to from whales and I guess semi-free-to-play low-spending players buying a bunch of Tier 3 materials to Tier 3 or transcend their characters, because we can now farm a ton of Tier 3 materials from story mode. If you take a look at my account, I have 31,000 TCP and 22,000 EOD. That is a ridiculous amount. 2-3 years ago, this was impossible. Well, nothing is impossible if you spend enough money. The point is, I got to this point by simply playing the game and accumulating these resources over time. However, the downside of something like this is that when we get to this point where you have players like me, thousands of players like me, that no longer need to go to the store and purchase these packages, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna release a new tier prematurely, might I add, so they can start making money, because they're probably noticing that the sales are down and they gotta make their investors happy. They gotta make the people behind the scenes happy. The players are gonna have to suffer for a little while because the bag is not sitting right. The problem I have with this though is, I showed you guys, right? We got 122 characters still in the game that can't get past level 70. The most you can do is get them to level 70, gear 25, and that's not really good enough for them to do anything besides Shadowland. Well, I guess you could use them in World Boss Ultimate, but why would you be playing World Boss Ultimate if not for Odin's Blessings, when you could get guaranteed CCF and more EOD from playing World Boss Ledge? It's sad. I can see why they're doing this, right? The game is probably not making as much money, and if the game is constantly losing money, then eventually the game will shut down. We can kind of see why that's a problem. Obviously, no one wants the game to shut down, but by no means do I think this is the right time for Tier 4 to happen. Maybe they could have done this at the end of the year when we had more characters Tier 3'd and transcended. However, if you take a look at the history of the game in the past few months, you'll notice that they've been actively giving more and more characters an awakened skill, which means you can transcend them, and giving more characters Tier 3s. And the thing is, a lot of those characters, they've been giving them Tier 3s and transcended skills without even giving them uniforms, which begs the question, if this is the case and you're rushing to Tier 4, prematurely might I add, why the hell does Green Goblin not have a awakened skill or a Tier 3? You're in so much of a rush. We need to know. I need answers, right? Because I was okay with Green Goblin being a Tier 2 if it meant that they were taking their time and slowly rolling out these Tier 3s and these transcended characters and whatnot. But if we're just gonna go from majority of the characters in the game still being at Tier 2 to now just going to Tier 4, why does Green Goblin not have a Tier 3? why did you guys skip over giving, let me go all the way back because we gotta talk. I need answers. Why did we skip over giving Baron Zemo a tier 3 or a transcended skill? Why did we skip over giving Black Cat a tier 3 or a transcended skill? Make it make sense to me. Some of the things that they're doing right now is not making no type of sense. Tier 4 coming before majority of the characters in the game. Like I would say 70-80% of the characters in the game being at tier 3 or transcendent status doesn't make any sense to me. Giving uniforms, premium uniforms in some cases, uniforms that you have to pay money for to characters, but then locking them to level 70 and then rushing to tier 4 also doesn't make any sense to me. Another question that I have, and I'm sure some of you guys are probably wondering, is in regards to awakened / transcended characters and how they will get to tier 4. Because technically, tier 4 should be coming after you tier 3 a character, right? So what's gonna happen after you transcend the character? Are you gonna then super transcend them or super awaken them? Is that what's gonna happen instead of a tier 4? Or will you be able to take a character from being transcended to tier 4 status? These are questions that I have that I don't have the answers for. And I know this is gonna make a lot of players panic and possibly think about quitting the game. But guys, be patient. Let's watch and see what the patch notes look like and see how you attain this new tier of power. Hopefully you get it through simply playing the game and farming materials, because if they bring out tier 4 and you can go in the shop and actually buy tier 4 materials within the first, I'm gonna say 4 or 5 months, listen man, that's a serious problem. On the other hand, at least now that we know that Iron Man is getting tier 4 and Robbie Reyes is getting tier 4, and I presume Black Widow also getting tier 4, it means they're more than likely gonna be relevant. However, look at the history of tier 2 and tier 3 and even transcended characters in this game. The ones who got it first ultimately ended up being the weakest. So, you might not have to panic about too much. Maybe Iron Man gets a tier 4 and he's slightly better than the majority of blast characters in the game. But as soon as the really good ones get a tier 4, they go eclipse him again. So, you guys, if you've been here for a while, you know how these tiers work. Okay, first people to get it, they're strong for like a quick minute until they get overshadowed by the real MVPs. So I'm gonna watch and see how this play out. Personally, I'm not gonna lose my cool about it, but if this is the case, then Marvel needs to make it easier for players to farm for Awakening Crystals and Mandalay Gem Fragments. It's easy enough to get TCP and EOD, I'm okay with that. What they need to do now, if they're gonna jump to tier 4, specifically taking characters like Robbie Reyes and whoever else from tier 2 to tier 4, they definitely need to make it easier for players to awaken characters, because in any given update they're dropping like 4 or 5 awakened characters, and unless you're spending a good amount of money, I would say $200-300 on the game a month, it's almost impossible for you to keep up. But to be honest, they don't want you to keep up, because if you're able to keep up, then you don't need to spend as much. When you are actively trying to catch up, then you spend more money, and the game is all about making money, right? Well, they did say that they wanted to make the game more fun. What was the words they used? They wanted to make it more about having fun and not so much about rewards. I think I remember them saying something about that in the post they made about Giant Boss Raid and World Boss Legends that are coming by the end of the year. If I remember correctly, they did say, we want Marvel Future Fight to be a game where players play because it's fun and not so much because they are rewarded. So we'll see what happens. More than likely, this new content that's coming is gonna lock out, again, all of these characters that are stuck at tier 2 and require you to use tier 3 or tier 4 characters. Well, obviously including transcended characters. So if that's the case, they're gonna have to rapidly release tier 3s and awakenings and all that for these characters, otherwise they're gonna be unplayable for the foreseeable future. Now, I've seen people saying that some characters don't deserve a tier 3. Listen, it's not about, at this point, it's not about what you deserve. Every character is in this game to be played. Nobody, well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not personally building characters just for the sake of building them. I'm building them so I can one day use them. So if characters in the game are going to be stuck at tier 2 forever, then that's a character that no one should be building, because at this point we're at tier 4, baby. Like, come on now. No. So we'll have to wait and see how this turns out. Hopefully they slowly, and it's already off to a bad start, because if Robbie Reyes is getting tier 4, Black Widow is getting tier 4, Iron Man's getting tier 4, that's 3 tier 4 characters. And in my opinion, that's already too much. I think they should slowly, if they are going to release tier 4 characters, they should slowly release them one a month, and then they should be dropping tier 3s and awakened characters with uniforms, right? I'm gonna say it again, with uniforms, so that we can actually use these characters. But who knows, maybe tier 4 is just going from level 70 to level 80 and then changing the color of your little badge that has the 2 on it from like 3 to a 4. I honestly don't know. But yeah, guys, this is what's happening. We've farmed so much materials that Netmarble has decided to drop tier 4, I don't know, prematurely. And what that means is look out for new materials and new material packs. However, if they drop the packs day 1, we already know what the motif is. It's just all about the dollar bills, y'all. And F your feelings pretty much. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.